There are many Kim Novaks. One is the screen goddess, described by press agents in breathless words like lush, languorous, dreamy, and bewitching. A second Kim Novak, pictured by the press, is an international siren, escorted by celebrated figures like Glenn Ford and Cary Grant, and followed by the gaze of an intrigued world. And there is still another Kim Novak, the girl who has carefully shielded her personal life from public glare. And this is only the beginning of the picture. Tonight we go in search of Kim Novak on Hollywood and the Stars. Kim Novak is something of a riddle in the world of motion pictures. She almost never appears in public. She rarely gives interviews. And even on the screen, she projects a kind of remote and mysterious quality that is her trademark. She has become one of the reigning sex goddesses of the day by smoldering through movies like Bell, Book, and Candle with leading men like Jimmy Stewart. Miss Novak has inspired critics to pen lines such as, "Novak, like Garbo and Valentino, seems to be one of those rare creatures with a perfect affinity for the camera. Her face makes dialogue seem almost superfluous."
A tune you're humming. What is that?
Just something I sing to Pi now and then.
Uh-huh. Well,
Some 300 miles from the film capital, on the wildly beautiful coastline near Monterey, California, Kim Novak lives in virtual seclusion. Here in a miniature stone castle above the sea, she dwells with a Great Dane called Warlock and a Siamese cat, Pyewacket. By choice, Kim Novak's private life is a dramatic contrast to her public image.
The very first time that I came here, I knew that this is where I wanted to live. It's like another planet from that world called Hollywood. And when I'm here, I'm almost another person. I've always felt a sense of the unreal about Kim Novak, the publicized glamour girl, the sex symbol. That she's part fiction created by Hollywood and the press. I come here to be free of that, to be alone and to do the things that I like best, especially to paint. Ever since I can remember, I've loved to express myself in color and images. I did this head of Christ as if he was sorrowing for an indifferent world. My friend, the San Francisco artist Walter Keane, as I see him, a tragic clown. My father, as part of a petrified forest, unable to express his emotions and imprisoned within himself like the trees that have turned to stone. Even though my mother is still alive, I painted her here as a symbol of a mother's influence, long remembered even after death. I'm happiest painting because it's the one way I know in which I can say all the things that I feel, freely and completely, and in my own way. That's where I can spend weeks here at a time, painting, sculpting, not seeing anyone, not even answering the phone. Usually it's someone who wants to talk to Hollywood's Kim Novak, but she doesn't live here. I do. I've never really experienced a drive for fame and all that goes with it. Quite the opposite. I adore my solitude. I can be alone without being lonely.
An occasional jazz concert or party in a towering redwood forest brings Kim Novak together with her friends, members of the famous artist colony at Big Sur, musicians, painters, writers, bohemians.
My friends here are not afraid to be themselves. They conform to nothing except their own beliefs. Most of them haven't seen a movie in years, and they don't depend on newspapers or magazines. The fact that I'm a movie star has no real meaning to them. People accept you here for what you are, not who you are. When I'm not with friends or painting, I might spend the day on guitar lessons or making up songs, or just watching the waves. I love nature, and I love the sea, because they're honest. They don't pretend to be anything but what they are, which isn't always true of people.
Kim Novak, however, is an actress, and her interludes by the sea are constantly interrupted by the demands of her profession.
I sometimes wonder why it all happened to me. I had no experience. I had no training to be an actress. But fate brought me here, and it kept me here. And I am grateful. It's given me so many opportunities. I can travel and do things for myself and my family. And it's given me freedom. That's the most important thing in my life.
For Kim Novak, part of the price for her freedom is being drawn back to the work and confines of Hollywood and to her secluded house in nearby Bel Air. It is surrounded by the homes of many of Hollywood's leading stars, but she knows very few of them and socializes with almost none.
Unless I come to town on business, I never stay here. I think of this place as a giant clothes closet, where I keep all the frills that I don't normally wear. I like pretty clothes, but by now they've become more or less the tools of my trade.
The William Morris Agency is part of the show business machinery that surrounds Kim Novak. For a girl who prefers to be a loner, she has found her life unavoidably entangled with lawyers, contracts, and agents. For their substantial services, the William Morris office, headed by Abe Lasvogel, takes 10% of Miss Novak's substantial income. Acting as the buffer between Kim Novak and this complex business world is her manager and closest friend, Norma Cassell.
I first met Kim when I was a promotion executive for a Chicago department store. Kim was 13 at the time, extremely shy and awkward, but she had a special kind of appeal. And almost against her will, I pushed her into doing some modeling and appearing on my radio and television shows. And all that began to take her out of her shell. She soon started to win beauty titles like Queen of Lake Michigan and Miss Deep Freeze. And then, while on a modeling tour in California, she was spotted by Columbia's talent chief, Max Arno, and given a contract for $100 a week.
At 19, Kim Novak finds herself appearing with Fred McMurray in a low-budget film called Pushover.
You get picked up often?
Would you care? Would it make any sense if I told you it's never happened before?
Maybe.
And then something remarkable begins to happen. Columbia is flooded with fan mail asking to see more of the unknown blonde. Kim Novak emerges on the public scene at a fateful moment. The reigning love goddess at Columbia, Rita Hayworth, has stormed out in a battle over money. The studio needs a new sex symbol, and so Kim is selected as one of the girls who might inherit Hayworth's mantle.
When they put you on that starlit treadmill, it's like a nightmare. You're no longer a person, you're a property, a thing. The studio tells you what to say, how to dress, and whom to date. Sometimes I resisted, but often I did as they asked, because they were the experts and I was a beginner. Besides, I'd signed a contract, and I really did want to try and do a good job. I wasn't learning much about acting, but I sure was learning a lot about performing.
By the time Kim Novak appears with William Holden in a picture called Picnic, she has become a star. The director, Joshua Logan, has protested the studio's demand that he use this untrained, inexperienced girl in a difficult role, but he is overruled.
What time are you through at the dime store?
6.
Well, maybe I could come by then.
No.
You're trying to punish me, Madge?
Yes. Oh, yes, I think I was trying to punish you. Kiss me out.
Mr. Logan was right. I wasn't an actress yet, but I felt deeply about the character of Madge. She wanted to be understood. She needed to give of herself. Madge was more like me than any other role I've ever played.
Don't kiss me anymore. Oh, please don't kiss me anymore.
Kim Novak's distinctive personality comes alive for the first time in Picnic. Says one critic, strikingly beautiful, she dominates the screen by her sheer presence.
I was 21 years old, and people were soon telling me that I was the biggest box office attraction in Hollywood. I found myself being swept along by this sudden and incredible career. I wasn't even sure if being a star was what I really wanted. I started wearing a wig in public right after Picnic, when people began to recognize me. There was so much I wanted to learn. I needed to look and I needed to see. And you can't really look at people when they're staring at you. But with a wig on, I can wander through the city or even go shopping without being seen. When I'm not recognized, I can meet all kinds of interesting people who'd withdraw if they thought I was her. That's why I love New York. Here, if only for a while, I can lose Kim Novak.
in her search for anonymity, Kim Novak is almost never seen at big premieres or parties. Fans may catch a glimpse of her once every year or two, but that is all.
Sometimes, as an actress, it's almost your duty to attend these rituals. And though I smile and I go through the motions, I guess I'll never quite get used to them. In a way, you have to make believe. You have to play a role, the star, the glamour girl. And it gives you an uneasy feeling. Even though you appreciate their attention, you wonder if people who come to watch would like you if they knew you as you really are.
Kim Novak emerges from her various facades during periodic visits to Chicago, to family, relatives, and friends.
My memories of Chicago are warm and happy memories. When I was growing up, I was given a lot of freedom to find my own way. I especially enjoyed riding off on my bicycle into the woods to sketch and make up poems. In a sense, I've never really changed from those days, and I realize that all the more whenever I return here and I'm with my family.
The Novaks are a close-knit family. Kim's father is a retired railroad worker, and he and Mrs. Novak have watched their daughter's remarkable career with mixed emotions.
I'm very proud that my shy, quiet little girl has become a movie star, but I've asked her many times to give it up, to get married and have children. As an actress, she'll never have enough time or energy for a husband and a family. Now she may have a career, but I've always felt that happiness is more important than a career.
I can understand girls settling down and having a family, like my sister Arlene. I'd love to have a family too. But I've found that when men want to marry you, they become possessive and want to change you. They want to make you like themselves, and then you have nothing left to give to each other. I'll marry, but only if and when it's right, when I'm wanted for what I am. One of the reasons I love to be with children so much is that they do accept you for what you are. Wherever I go, even on short visits home, I find myself looking for the excitement of activity. Unlike many of the wistful girls that I play on the screen, I guess I'm restless. And when the pressures of my work build up, I just have to get out and do something, like skiing or ice skating. I've never been much of a spectator. It's the doing that's fun for me. My old neighborhood. I won an art scholarship here while going to school. And then the chance in Hollywood came along. Sometimes it's hard to imagine that that was almost 10 years ago.
In 1963, in Ireland, Kim Novak prepares for a new and demanding role in Of Human Bondage. Co-starring with Lawrence Harvey, she plays Mildred, a pathetic shop girl who becomes a fallen woman.
I love the freedom that acting could give. You can not only express yourself, you can become so many different characters, but this rarely happens. Hollywood usually prefers to use me as a sex symbol rather than to search for anything deeper. Perhaps that's the right way to make movies. But if it is, my feelings about being a Hollywood star will always be divided. Still, I've always tried to bring everything that I could to my acting, especially to roles as challenging as Mildred in Of Human Bondage. She was unlike any character I've ever played before. You're just jealous.
No, I'm not. I suppose it's my fault for bringing you two together.
Look, Philip, I like you. I like you very much as a friend, but you can't live on friendship, now can you?
You haven't found it too difficult up to now. After all, I'm paying for your room, your clothes, the baby, every stitch you've got on.
If you was a gentleman, you wouldn't throw what you've done for me in my face.
Do you think I care whether I'm a gentleman or not? What's so bloody special about that? If I were a gentleman, I wouldn't waste my time with a vulgar little tart like you. So you can make up your cheap, stupid little mind one way or the other. Either settle for me on my terms, Or else get the hell out of my life.
I never liked you. Not from the beginning, but you forced yourself on me. Why, you don't know you revolted me. I wouldn't let you near me. Not if you was the last man on earth. Not if I was starving, do you hear me? Not if I was starving!
The filming of Human Bondage has taken 4 months. As soon as it is finished, Kim Novak speeds back to her home, her paintings, her way of life.
Sometimes I just don't realize how happy I can be until I come home to Big Sur. Acting can be challenging, an adventure, and there's always something new to look forward to in the next film. But within myself, there's a part of me that can never be satisfied with acting alone. And that's why I return here where I can be really complete. For me, this is not so much a place. It's a way of life, a state of mind, a different world. And unless I give up Hollywood completely someday, I'll always live in 2 worlds.